Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So in today's video, I'm going to show you another mistake that is often done by a lot of beginners. Now again, being a succulent collector, even I can understand the excitement of getting a succulent with two heads. A lot of times you might have a seller that is very generous enough to give you a succulent with two heads, the mother plant and the pup has also reached a decent size. Now guys, if you are a beginner, whether you are a beginner or you have been growing succulents for quite some time, it's always advisable not to separate the pups right away because remember, the succulent has just come in. It has to get acclimated in the new environment. It has to get adjusted. So you want to ensure that the succulent tends to keep all that energy to itself rather than separating it. So if you are a beginner, if you have just got a succulent that looks like this, that has two heads, let the pup or let the second head stay with the succulent for a couple of months. Let's say for 4 months, 5 months, let it stay together. Let the plant completely get settled in your environment, and then probably if you want, you can go ahead and separate it. Now this was a recent message that I had received on Instagram wherein the person had just started work with succulents, and they received a succulent that had a double head. Now I can completely understand their excitement because they have two succulents on one, so they wanted to multiply it, and immediately as soon as they got their succulent, they went ahead and snapped the second succulent apart like this. So they separated the plant like this, which was still okay. I mean, as long as they had got a good amount of roots, that was absolutely fine. That is something they also happened to get because the person said that they had a good amount of roots on the second succulent as well. So till here, everything was okay. Let's say that you didn't know about this, but you still went ahead and separated, which is absolutely fine. But the next step, what they did was completely incorrect. That is, they immediately went ahead and potted the succulent. After potting the succulent, they went ahead and watered it immediately. Now, there was a major issue over here. Now, what happened to their succulent is both of their succulents got rotted within a week. Now, what issue happened over here is, one, they separated the pups. They didn't let, because when you are going to check, it won't be visible on this one. It's going to be more visible on this portion. Let me show it to you. So you can see this. This is where the succulent was snapped apart. So it's fresh. It's an open cut. Now, if this cut is going to come in contact with water, obviously the succulent will start to get rotted. So this is where they made a big mistake, is by putting them into the soil and then watering them immediately. Due to which, one, the succulent was not acclimated to the new environment. Apart from that, they went ahead and watered it immediately, wherein there were open cuts on the succulent. Due to which, both the mother plant as well as the pup both happened to get rotted. Within a week, all of the leaves started to turn mushy, and the pup already had a crown rot. So ensure that you do not do this mistake. First of all, do not be in a hurry to separate them. It's your succulent. It's not going to run away. It is going to be with you, but ensure that you are giving the proper care. Do not be in a hurry to separate them right away. At times they might break apart. That is not under your control. If that happens, that's absolutely fine. But the next step is you have to let it dry. You have to let it callus, because there is an open cut on both the mother plant as well as the second pup or the second mother plant that's growing. So you have to ensure that you're going to give it a good amount of time for it to dry. So over here, if I have done this, I'm going to be keeping this aside for at least 2 to 3 days, minimum 2 to 3 days. 3 to 4 days is also absolutely fine because the succulent itself is very well hydrated, so it's going to do quite well. But it has to be kept in indirect bright light, no direct sunlight, and at least for 2 to 3 days minimum, it has to be kept aside without putting it into the soil, because we want the cuts to heal. If you want, you can even add some dry cinnamon powder on the root area just to ensure that there are no bugs or anything. Apart from that, you can also isolate it for at least 4 or 5 days. Do not immediately mix it with your other collection, because at times there are chances that there could be some kind of pests or bugs on them, which could later on infest your other succulents. So always try and isolate your plants at least for a week or so that you are able to examine if there are any bugs or not, and always put some dry cinnamon powder. Do not add water immediately. So if the person would have followed this process, of course the succulent would have been alive, but the succulent got rotted because of an open cut in the succulent stem. So guys, that was all about it. If you have a succulent that comes with two heads, do not be in a hurry to separate it. In case if you have separated it, ensure that you let it dry and only then put it into the soil. Wait for another week or so and then go ahead and water it. Do not do things in a hurry, otherwise you will end up with a dying succulent. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.